Hello, I'll be talking about Handball 16 and 17 on the Xbox One. I'll be comparing the two games, and also I'll be giving an overview of the rules for those who don't know the sport. If you are thinking about buying one of these, then it's definitely worth sticking around, because I'll be talking about a major flaw in Handball 17 which you don't want to miss. So this sport, it became popular in Europe. However, for decades now it has been played at an international level, such as the Olympics. I do feel Handball 16 and 17 are a bit behind because they focus exclusively on the European teams and leagues. Handball 12, that was the first one in this series released on the PC. The number on the end just corresponds to the season. So take Handball 17, 2017 season. It was the first series to represent the sport in the video game market in this way. And even now it has little in terms of competition. So take on the Xbox One alone, you won't find any other Handball series from other developers. I'm just going to give a crash course on the rules. So here we go. There's two teams against each other, 6 players running round and a goalkeeper split into two 30-minute halves. You need to run up the court, passing the ball to each other to help each other get the ball into the net. If you take too long for a shot, then it goes to the other side. Outside the goal is a thing called a D-zone. The line around the D-zone is called the crease. Cross the crease, the ball in your hand and it goes to the other side. If you get fouled, they might get a free throw to a team member, or they might get a yellow card or sent off for 2 minutes. If they block your shot while standing in the D-zone, it results in a penalty. They can get the ball from you by intercepting you, blocking your shots and picking up the ball from the ground. If the ball gets thrown off to the court, then it's thrown to the other side. You will identify components from other sports in this game, such as football getting the ball into the net, or rugby where players get sent to the sin bin. But I think basketball fans will relate to Handball the most, because it has that backwards and forwards fast pace trying to score points, with that shot counter to give it that added intensity. Back in the Sega days, I do sometimes wonder whether Speedball got its influences from Handball in any way. The main focus on both titles is the career mode, and you begin by selecting one of the lowest ranking teams, with 1 star being the lowest, and then you set up your player, which is supposed to be you, apparently, and then you pick a position for that player, and once you pick that position, you can't change that position again unless you're willing to start the career from scratch. In Handball 16, the career seasons are about 20 to 40 games long, but when I started a career season for the first time in Handball 17, it was only 4 games long, and that's the big difference, and I just felt it was over way too quickly. Factoring how well you perform in a season can affect the quality of the offers that you get in the following season. And you can only accept 1 offer per season. Handball 16, the offers don't tend to come once you've played a few games already. And if you accept that team's offer, then you'll join their league and you'll probably be a few games in already. Handball 17, the offers come in once you finish the season. That's good, because if you accept the offer, then you'll start their league at the very beginning, which I prefer. Whether you win or lose, you get given upgrade points to upgrade stats mostly for yourself, such as your shooting ability. Hence the reason I think it's frustrating that you can't change your position again once their career has started. There is a stat to improve the decision making of your team, and another one to increase the chances of better offers from other teams. Luckily, when you do change teams, these stats don't reset and they just carry across, which is good. Alternatively, you can play a season mode instead of the career mode. This just lets you pick any team and lets you play their league. But considering the seasons are 20 to 40 games long, I think they should replace the season mode with a tournament mode instead. In Handball 17, the graphics are more detailed and crisp, and running around just feels smoother. And what I noticed the most is the green stamina bars at the bottom. They're nice and clear. In Handball 16 it has these as well, and to be honest, all the games I played on it, I never even knew they existed until I started playing Handball 17. Here's another clip of Handball 16, see if you can spot them now if you haven't already. So the stamina bars, they're good for helping you with substitution decisions, but 90% of the time for me, I only ever needed to make 1 substitution a match, and that was the pivot player, the one good for scoring goals. But when you make a substitution, or when you're selecting your starting lineup, you're spoilt for choice, and regardless what player you decide to put into play, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And I think only those who've got significant knowledge of the sport and who are big fans, who perhaps want to make their own dream team, will be able to make use of this. In both titles, I think they could have done more to make your opponents behave less like robots. For example, when they're shooting at your goal, yes, your goalkeeper might save some, but they'll never hit the post, and their shots will never go wide. And also, as soon as they've got more than 4 players on the pitch, you're very likely to get fouled. It all just feels a bit too automatic.
Now that they are down a man. Oh dear, a foul by Schneider.
Scoring a successful penalty is very much a button mashing affair. It's got to be done within 6 seconds, and the key is to fake your shot as much as possible and take it when you think you've managed to confuse the goalkeeper like crazy.
Superb! That's what I call reflexes.
So in both titles, there was these little tricks you can do, such as when you're taking your shots, you can make them go in slow motion, or you can put a spin on the ball. Also, you can purposely make yourself stand still in the hope that your opponent will run into you to force a foul. And another one is this tactical manoeuvre you can do to help you get past the defence. But the thing is, I never needed any of these to win the season. So when shooting, I find that jump shots are the best, because they're great at clearing their defence, and also it gives you the most time with the shot cursor that appears when you're taking shots just outside the crease. But Handball 17, they made jump shots harder by introducing an additional button to press. And I find that makes it tricky to even make the jump shot register on the controls at times. So another type was the hip shot. These were great for shooting around the defence and also shooting from the sides. But with Handball 17, they made it so even though you had to press one button less, you still had to hold the shoot button for longer. And on top of that, any shot type, the shot cursor now moved faster and provided less accuracy. When you compare it to Handball 16, carrying out a hip shot was already difficult because the shot cursor moves faster in that one. So therefore, in Handball 17, pulling off hip shots became extremely difficult and almost unusable. You've also got your basic throw, which is great for responding to rebounds. And also you can combine your jump shot with, for example, a hip shot. Your goalkeeper is computer controlled, and I find the chances of them saving a shot seems to improve in relation to how much effort you put into defending. In Handball 16, when you're shooting far away from the crease, you can still direct the ball, but you just don't have control of the shot cursor anymore. I mean, in both titles, any shots towards the opponent's end, the ball will always go in the general direction of their goal, which means with a bit of skill you can actually score from anywhere.
A rocket! The shot went through.
So now we get onto the fatal flaw in Handball 17. So unlike in Handball 16, in Handball 17, when you take shots far away from the crease, you now have limited use of the shot cursor, and that's all it takes to be able to pull off shots from quite far away. As long as you don't shoot directly at the defenders, and also improving your shot ability helps. I found that I now had a very high success rate of winning games. I mean, if you look at my stats, here you can see that I've managed to win 10 games in a row, I've won the season twice, and I haven't even played 20 games yet. Unfortunately, in both titles I couldn't find anyone to play with on Xbox Live, but they do offer a local multiplayer mode where you share the same screen. So now we come to the ratings. Handball 16 has either been given 5 stars or 1 star, and with so many giving it 1 star, I can't help but feel that lots of them are just jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah, the game's not perfect, and the shooting mechanics may put some people off, but I enjoyed this game. It was fast, intense, I felt the difficulty was just right, it was a challenge, so I see myself being in the 5-star category. At $44.99, though I think it is a bit expensive considering Handball 17 has been out for a while now. So when you look at the ratings for Handball 17 in comparison, yep, the game does look better, and they have made a couple of small nice changes. But at $49.99, when you take things into consideration of the poor shooting mechanics, how it's easier to score goals from far away, which doesn't make any sense, it just feels like a massive step backwards, and doesn't really offer much that's new or original compared to Handball 16. So for me, I can only give this 2 stars. So in conclusion, if you can get Handball 16 at a reduced price, then I highly recommend it. It's still a unique experience because it's not like you've got ever Handball titles to choose from. I mean, I'd stay clear of Handball 17 because hopefully they'll release Handball 18 that would have addressed some of the problems that existed in this title. And thank you for watching my review of the Handball titles on the Xbox One. Please feel free to leave any likes or comments, or if you want, subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I may have even inspired someone to take up this sport for real.